Hey friends, I'm Steph from cheapskatecook.com and stephaniejenkins.com, and today we're going to make thumbprint cookies. So this is the way that I bake. I have a very simple recipe and it's very flexible. So I'm going to show you how you can make just regular thumbprint cookies with simple ingredients. It'll be homemade, but you don't need anything weird. White flour, sugar, butter, that kind of thing. But because I also like to teach you how to save money and eat healthy at the same time, I'm gonna show you a couple of little tweaks that you can make so that they're a little bit more real food and a little bit healthier. I know people kind of vary whether they want their cookies and desserts to be healthy or not, or whether they're just like, no, I'll eat a salad if I want to eat healthy, I'll eat a cookie if I want a dessert. My family's full of both types. So thumbprint cookies, these are cookies that I remember eating around Christmas time with my grandma, and I honestly don't know what recipe she used or whether she even used a box. I really don't know. I just have this vague memory of it. But that also means that I have a soft spot for thumbprint cookies because they make me very nostalgic. So when I was learning how to make more homemade and real food cookies, this was one of the first things that I tried. I'm also going to give you some tips for making these plant-based and dairy-free. So if you have an allergy, you can even make this like gluten-free, okay? I'm gonna show you how to do that without using a lot of weird ingredients or weird steps. It's the same basic recipe. You just tweak the ingredients to your needs, okay? So first, the flour. You can use just regular white flour if that's what you have. If you're a little more into the real food thing and you wanna tweak this recipe a little bit, you can use half almond flour and half any other kind of flour. So if you're gluten-free, use a gluten-free flour or oat flour. I like to use flour from our grain mill, which I know is next level real food to grind your own flour. I won't get too far into that because that kind of deserves its own thing for the people who are interested in that particular thing. But just know it's like whole wheat flour, okay? So if you buy whole wheat flour from the grocery store, then you can use this in this recipe. Or if you have almond flour and just regular white flour, use that. I've tried this with multiple different flour combinations and they're all really good. This recipe calls for maple syrup because that's kind of a more real food sweetener, but you can also use coconut sugar, which is kind of a trendy, healthy sweetener right now. You can also use just regular white sugar if that's what you have. If you are dairy-free, use palm shortening. This is a all vegetable shortening and you can see it's got all the little nerdy foodie labels. It's fair trade certified and Rainforest Alliance and organic and non-GMO and all that stuff. It's a little pricey, but not too pricey, especially if you are dairy free anyway. You're gonna want something like this for any recipe that calls for softened butter. This is what we used when we were dairy free and I can't recommend it highly enough for dairy-free cookies. If you're not dairy-free, just use butter. We're making like a shortbread cookie, so butter is going to be really delicious and best for this recipe. But again, I just wanted to give you options depending on if you have allergies or you're plant-based, because it can be really hard to find really good like plant-based or dairy-free cookies. And then the jam. You can use any kind of jam you like. I really like raspberry jam for these particular cookies. For this actual recipe, I used a Simply Fruit spread. So it's got fruit syrup, strawberries, fruit pectin, lemon juice concentrate, red grape juice concentrate for color, and natural flavor, whatever that is. It's basically a kind of jam that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it, and so it's just one of those like little things just to make it a little more real food without using really weird obscure ingredients or making your own jam or something like that. That being said, if you make your own jam or you make like the really quick Cheater's homemade chia jam, then that would taste really good in this recipe. The great news is these thumbprint cookies are already egg-free, so if you have that allergy, or again, you're vegan or plant-based or whatever, you don't have to worry about finding an egg replacer for this recipe. If you've been following me for a little bit, you know that I really like to take simple recipes and tweak them just a little bit with like real food, allergy-free options, or like something just a little bit healthier, but I don't like them to be complicated or to require a bunch of weird ingredients. So pretty much all of my recipes you can make with normal ingredients that you can just find at Walmart or your local grocery store. But if you're trying to eat more real food, I always like to give you options for that because that's the way that I like to bake and I like to cook. But honestly, if you're just like trying to cook homemade food, that's a huge step in the right direction for saving money and eating healthy. So no weird ingredients required, but here are some options if you have them available to you or if you need them because of allergies or health issues. I actually have a bunch of recipes here on my channel for like dairy-free gingerbread cookies, and we made some sugar cookies a couple years ago with all kinds of options. So I broke down like doing this number and using whole wheat and different kinds of sweeteners. Actually, those videos are like really old and not very well put together, so don't feel like you have to watch them. But my kids helped me make them. That part's cute. Okay, we got our weird ingredients and we got some normal ingredients, and I'm gonna show you how we make these cookies. Alright, for this recipe I already talked about the different kinds of flour you can use. This is almond flour and a soft whole wheat flour, maple syrup or sugar, palm shortening or butter, and then vanilla extract and almond extract, and then just a little bit of salt. You're also going to want some jam, whatever kind is your jam. Alright, this part's super complicated. Are you ready? Dump all the ingredients except the jam into your mixer and stir. That's literally all you have to do. I know I have a fancy KitchenAid here. I've had this guy for like 10 years and it's still going strong, but really you can use any kind of mixer or even just a whisk or sturdy spoon, a food processor. No fancy equipment required. Just mix the ingredients however you can. I like to use 2 spoons to make the cookie blobs, whatever they're called. And these ones are a little bigger than normal, but this recipe should make about 18 cookies. I think this one made 17 all in all. I still got a little bit of dough left in the bowl. And I realized looking at this that you can't actually tell that I'm rolling the dough with wet hands to make like the smooth round cookie shapes. I could be doing anything in there. I could be spitting on them. It kind of looks like a magic trick, but I am just rolling them with slightly damp hands because the dough's a little bit sticky. Next, you're going to use your thumb or the back of a measuring spoon to press the little indents into the cookies. I found the measuring spoon really needed to be wet and was kind of sticky, so I just prefer to use my thumb. Next, scoop in the jam. I don't know why this part kind of grosses me out. I think finished thumbprint cookies are a lot prettier than when they're pre-baked. I don't know. They're kind of gross and unappealing at this point. You want to take the thumbprint cookies out of the oven when they are like not even quite brown. You want to make sure they're cooked through, so you're just looking for the very slightest little bit of brown. If you wait until they're like brown on the edges, then they're going to be overbaked because cookies keep baking after you remove them from the oven. So just think about that. When you look in the oven and check them, just think they're going to be a little more done in the end than what they look like right now. All right, that's how we make thumbprint cookies with dairy-free options and real food options, or just make them normal. The recipe is in the description. I added a little glaze to some of them and some powdered sugar, but really they don't need that for flavor because the jam and the maple syrup or sugar is sweet enough. It just makes them look a little pretty. Special thanks to Kitchen Stewardship for collaborating with us in this video. I'm Steph from CheapskateCook.com and StephanieJenkins.com. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more ways to save money and eat healthy. You can also use just and And then the best part of the video is just like eating the food after.